myself SSS Nitish, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Vigyan Institute of Information Technology, Duvada. So in this particular course, we will be learning about the Geotechnical Engineering 2 and its importance in real life applications. In the previous semester, we have discussed about Geotechnical Engineering 1, where we will be discussing about the engineering properties and the index properties, as well as some of the tests that are conducted in the laboratory as well as the field to determine these engineering properties and index properties. So now in this course we will be applying them in real life applications. But before that, we will be learning about one particular topic, that is shear strength, which is one of the engineering property. So now let us understand how do we apply this in the real life problem where we have different courses in civil engineer aspects. Let us now look at this. So in case of the different branches that we have, let us say I have a structural engineering branch where we structurally analyze the beams or columns or any other structural point of view aspects. The other one is the geotechnical engineer, where we deal with the soil as well as the earth related problems. And the other one is the hydrological or irrigation engineering issues, where we can, if you consider an earthen dam or any other hydraulic structure or a reservoir, how do we as an engineer, how do we analyze these, how do we construct these, what are the different criteria that are there, and how do we interlink them to the entire civil engineering aspect. So this will be discussed in this particular unit. Coming to the other aspect of civil engineering, say we have a environmental engineer or a public health officer or say a sanitary engineer. So these three revolve around the environment aspects of civil engineering. For suppose if I am constructing a particular building, say, okay, as a environmental engineering, I have to go there, inspect the elements considering the environmental point of view. The other one is the surveyor transportation engineer. So if there is any road construction or any tunnel construction, so how a particular transportation engineer acts there, on what aspects he generally analyzes. So these are generally taken care by this engineer. So if you look at the other one, that is the marine engineer. So in this case, how the offshore structures are constructed, how a civil engineer will construct any structure in case of an offshore region. This comes under the marine engineer. The other one is, which is the most common one, that is the construction management. So if you look at all these aspects are completely related to the construction of a particular project. So how do we manage this? So this is another aspect of civil engineering. Apart from this, there will be a project manager. So as a civil engineer, take for example my case. So if I am a project manager, how do I manage all these aspects in constructing a project in a very low cost minimum way and a time saving way? So this is what a project manager generally does. Looking at the other one, this is the site supervisor. This we generally know. For suppose if there is a construction site, what does a site supervisor do? He supervises the construction methodologies that takes place around there and at what rate of construction is taking place along with time management and cost management. So this entire thing is done by the supervisor as well as the project manager. Okay. Now the other one, the most important one is the site engineer builder or the contractor. So in this case, these site engineer or a contractor generally is under this site supervisor, where he will try to complete the project using the available resources. Finally, apart from this, there may be another case where research and development is another aspect. So if take the example of a faculty that is teaching in an academic profession, so I may do research on how advanced technologies can be used for the use of construction. So this all comes under our research and development. Apart from this, the other one is the academics. So you may take up a faculty job or a profession, any teaching profession related to civil engineering. So out of all these aspects, we will be learning what is the primary importance of this geotechnical engineering. Okay. So now, before understanding the roles and responsibilities of this geotechnical engineering, what do we mean by a geotechnical engineering? Have a look here. It is the process, okay, of understanding as well as working. Okay, it is not just a simple thing where we understand and we work along with certain aspects of, say, geology, something dealing with our soil and earth, and then in relation, if you look at here, it is in relation to a construction project. So all these aspects involving correlates to our geotechnical engineering. Okay, so these in earth related operations, anything taking place may either be, say, a rock or soil analysis, or an underground water analysis, or say any structural criteria analysis beneath the ground level. So these all combine to a geotechnical engineering aspects. So we will be learning about these in this particular unit. Now, coming to the different geotechnical engineering aspects. So this geotechnical engineering may interrelate to any of the aspects. Say, we may say that this geotechnical engineering is a multidisciplinary subject because it correlates with the ocean engineering and the structural engineering and say the petroleum engineering. So all these aspects, whatever are there, are completely related to our engineering fields with geotechnical engineering. Let us understand the important role and what are the responsibilities of a geotechnical engineer. So if you look at here, the preliminary objective of a geotechnical engineer is to carry out the subsurface investigation, where we need to collect the different samples from different localities, and then we process these for the test to be conducted, where we determine the properties, say index or engineering properties. Now these tests may sometimes be conducted in the field also, where we directly obtain some of the properties of the soil that we have collected. Furthermore, after collecting the soil sample and analyzing it through field test or any laboratory test, we may obtain some of the properties of soil. Then we need to analyze this particular soil for the load taken by any structure. In a practical case, for suppose if I am constructing a building, say the amount of load taken by the soil has to be evaluated by me, and I have to give a report such that whether the building can be sustainable on that particular type of soil or not. So this can be done by a computer analysis. Now after doing all this, the final thing that we do is we need to conduct the client meetings. Say I have the data regarding the type of soil, what type of structure I am constructing there, then I have to convey this to the client, so that I have to assure him that this particular structure is safe on this particular type of soil. Okay. So this all aspects comes under the geotechnical engineering, where this is the first and preliminary type of data that is required to construct any structure. Clear? Now let us look at the course outline for this particular geotechnical engineering 2. In the previous semester, we have gone through geotechnical engineering 1, where we have, as I have said, we have discussed the different properties as well as index engineering properties and some of the different tests that we conduct for this analysis. The other engineering property that is left is the shear strength. Okay. So in this case, this is one of the primary engineering property. So this is one of the primary engineering property. Why it is primary? Because we need to evaluate the strength of a particular soil based on this particular shear strength unit. So we will be learning about this in this particular unit, and what are the different methods that we use in this particular unit. Now coming to the unit 2, we will be learning about the soil exploration. So in this particular unit, what do we mean by soil exploration? We will investigate a particular site. Say I have to construct a site at a particular locality. So I will investigate that site, and then I will learn about the soil conditions at that site and whether it can sustain any type of structure or not. So depending upon that analysis only, I will go for my construction of any structure. Now, so there are different methods to explore this soil. We will be learning about this in this particular unit. Now coming to the third unit, that is stability of slopes and retaining walls. We have learnt about the shear strength in the first unit, and then we have understood how we investigate the soil. Now we will be applying them to the structures. Say this is a slope structure is there. So I have to understand the stability of this particular slope. And similarly, retaining wall, this is one type of structure. So I have to understand about this type of retaining wall considering the type of soil and the shear strength of that particular soil. So similarly, in the further units also we will be learning about shallow foundation and deep foundation. So for any structure we have to construct a foundation, where now we will be considering two different types of foundation, shallow and deep, and then we will be considering the amount of settlement this particular foundation can take because of this particular load by the any building. Okay. So the settlement in case of any soil can be clearly observed. So this is the entire course outline for this particular unit. Now coming to the unit 1 course. So as I have said, we will be discussing about the shear strength. So in this shear strength, initially we will be trying to understand the basic mechanism of shear strength. That means what is shear strength, how do we analyze for any particular body shear strength, how do we calculate the shear strength. Apart from that, this is completely a theoretical approach. Then there are two more theories on which the shear strength is determined, that is Mohr-Coulomb theory and Mohr theory and Coulomb theory. So these two theories will be learned by us in this particular unit. And then finally we will be understanding the different tests that are there, both field as well as laboratory tests, to determine the shear strength of any particular soil. Finally we will be understanding these tests for different drainage conditions. There may be different drainage conditions. So for this particular drainage conditions we will be determining the shear strength, and we will be observing the stress strain behavior of any particular soil. Clear? Now coming to the shear strength, let us understand what do we mean by shear strength. So shear strength is nothing but it is the maximum resistance to any shear force acting upon a unit area. Say for suppose this is a particular structure, and say I am applying a compressive load in this case. So after certain amount of time, say it is actually getting deformed in this shape. On furthermore increase of any load, say this may fail at some angle. So this is nothing but my failure plane. So along this plane we may try to understand the shear stresses as well as the surface stresses. Okay. So that is why shear strength of a soil is given by its maximum resistance to the shear stress. That means how much resistance it can offer to any shear stress along the plane of failure. Okay. Now coming to the other one. So in general the shear stress may either occur due to compression or tension. So in actual case we consider that in case of any soil acted upon tension, these shear stresses are generally not relevant and not appropriate. So that is why we consider only the soil subjected to a direct compression in case of soils. Okay. Furthermore, this shear strength is the preliminary or primary engineering property. So that is why it is also known as the principal engineering property. So what do we do by this? We try to understand the stability of a soil mass under different types of loads. So when external load is acting upon this particular soil, we will try to analyze the shear stresses acting upon this failure plane. Now that is why this is one of the most complex problem in case of engineering properties. So where do we apply these shear strength determination? So in general we will be trying to understand the bearing capacity of a soil. Using this shear strength we will be determining the bearing capacity of soil, and then we will apply this to find out the stability of slopes. This will be discussed in our unit 3, and then we will obtain the earth pressures against retaining structures, and finally any other engineering problems we will be trying to use this shear strength concept. So that is why it is a complex problem having a complex behavior where we apply them in different fields of aspects. Okay. Now so in the upcoming lecture we will be discussing about, say for example there is a particular body on which I am applying some amount of load. So, in this case, when I am applying some amount of load in all the directions, okay. So, because of these external loads, I have to find out along certain failure plane the shear stresses. So, this will be discussed in the upcoming units. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.